Hi, everyone. So, I want to make a video about meditation. In the past, I started my journey. I found meditation through doing yoga. And it was really crazy because I'll never forget when I started to try and sit there after some of the exercises that we did in yoga. I couldn't get my mind to quiet down. And it was kind of annoying. I was trying to close my eyes as they ask you to and go into that state of meditation, but my mind was just chatting. It was loud. And I didn't really focus on the music because my mind was saying things like, "This is boring. I just want to be out of here. I want to be done. When is this over?" And so I kept going back. Um, I spoke with the instructor, and she was telling me that sometimes that happens if you're new to meditation, but keep practicing, it gets better. Well, it really didn't for me. It didn't get better. I I ended up not going back after a couple weeks to yoga, and what I did instead was I found a guided meditation CD. And I thought to myself, maybe I need something more than just trying to sit there and be quiet by breathing. And that was incredibly life changing right there. I ended up putting the CD on and listening to it, and it made me so calm. And it actually brought tears to my eyes. It was so amazing. It was like a bunch of release that was happening. I was also going through a really stressful time. I had just had a fourth child, so my nervous system was out of whack. And the release was really helpful. So that was the start of my spiritual awakening. And from there, I found out I went to this program where they taught you how to breathe properly because I didn't realize that my breathing was not deep. And I found myself throughout the day sometimes holding my breath, being so busy. I'm like, am I breathing? Oh my gosh, I'm not. I'm like holding my breath. That's not healthy, right? And I learned how to breathe by watching these movies, right? And so when you're watching the movie would get smaller if you weren't breathing deep. And when you would breathe deeper, the movie would get bigger. So it was trying to get you, without thinking about it too much, in the habit of breathing deep. And it worked. That was probably the only thing that got me to really learn how to breathe properly. I was so used to breathing faster, constantly being on the move, high energy workouts, just always got to find something to do. Struggled with sleep sometimes, couldn't quiet the mind. So, anyways, highly recommend if you can learn how to. Some of those apps have the breathing apps where the ball goes up and the ball goes down. Those are incredibly helpful. They didn't have that back then when I was learning how to breathe appropriately. But using the breathing techniques along with a guided meditation CD with music and like a deeper voice is incredibly helpful. And it'll definitely get you on the right track of learning how to quiet your mind. It's not something that you can just do overnight. Okay, I'm going to go into meditation and I'm going to quiet my mind, especially if you're someone who's on the higher anxiety spectrum. I would always be like anxious, and anxious people think a lot. They're in their head, their monkey mind, right? And it's not always that bad. Sometimes it's quieter. Usually, when you're doing something that you love, it seems to quiet down a little bit because you're engaging in something and you kind of forget about your mind for a little while. But so, yeah, I highly encourage you to try to meditate. It's the number one thing you can do that will take you on a journey of incredible healing. incredible peace. You will connect with your higher powers. You'll connect with source, God, whatever your word you want to use for your higher power. And then it's kind of puts you on the path of awakening to the truth of who you are. It helps you get in touch with your soul. It helps you quiet out the noise from your past, your mom, your dad, your teachers, people in your life, husbands, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. And it helps you get in touch with you at your core. And it's amazing. You really start to get to know yourself like never before. And ironically, all the things that are going on are not what you expected, right? If you're doing this for a certain reason, the experiences that come once you get in touch with yourself are not really what you thought it would be. Trust me, I'll tell you, it's not. It'll surprise you. It's a very surprising, exciting, and interesting journey, but it's so worth it. And from my experience this far, meditation is like the number one practice that I do in my life, and I will not be without it. It I look forward to it. And if I'm confused about something and I drop into meditation, I always get an answer. It is like the higher teacher. It's beyond a therapist, a coach, a doctor, a nurse. I mean, it is like your intuitive knowing connected to your higher power. So, I just wanted to do a quick video on this because it is so important. I don't think people in general give meditation enough credit. I feel like I wanted to put this video out because I was one of those people. I was like, oh, I'm not going to meditate. I can't do it or whatever. But it takes practice, just like any skill. You really have to be intentional, make the time. I was so intentional at one point. I was done with suffering. I was done with being anxious and panicked. And I was very intentional. I actually took a CD, the guided meditation CD, in my car. At the time, I worked as a medical coder and I was working at a hospital. And so on my lunch hour, I would go into my car and I would park my car at the end of the parking lot in the corner where there was nobody really there and lay back in my seat and put on the guided meditation and just go into meditation on my lunch hour. It was so helpful. And little by little, you learn how to be able to drop into meditation in any time of the day. Like I could be somewhere in a busy place and it could just be getting too much for me. I could actually find a seat somewhere and focus on my breath and drop into that calm, peaceful state and just kind of sit there for a while. It's just recognizing your breath. And then you also get to this immense awareness of your surroundings. You start to hear sounds of what's going on outside. You might hear something in the kitchen, a creaking sound. You just start noticing things that you wouldn't normally notice when you're not that aware, right? And also, there's like walking meditations. You can go for a walk and you can pay attention to like the sounds, the sights, what you're seeing, um, feeling things like touching the trees, touching the grass, finding an old bench and rubbing your hands along the bench. Just really appreciating the little things. And it really does make a huge difference in your life. You just feel so energized and at peace and appreciative of this world we're in, the earth we're on. And sometimes, when you meet somebody on a walk or something, you really are there for them. Like it's funny, you'll have a conversation with somebody and it'll be meaningful and you'll be like, that was weird. but it's because you were so aware and you were so in tune to the oneness between you and this other individual. It's hard to explain, but try it. Just try and go on a walk and become really aware of everything going on around you and focus on your breath. You might hear the sounds of your steps. It just maybe the airplane, kids playing in somebody's backyard. It's something special. It really is. And I do that a lot in the summertime. But yeah, definitely I highly recommend if you found this video and you want to quiet the mind, that is the number one. That's above affirmations, prayer. Like, I want to just say this really quick too. When I was younger, when I was stressed out or scared about something or fearful, I remember saying the rosary, right? My mother taught me to say the rosary, and that's something that worked for her. But when I'm saying the rosary, it's like I'm saying it, I'm saying it, I'm saying it. I had to memorize the words, the prayer. It didn't feel peaceful to me. It didn't feel relaxing. I felt like I was pressured to remember the words and counting how many I did and going back. And then the more I got peaceful, I'd skip some. I- I'm, I come from perfectionism in myself as well. So I would be like, oh gosh, it's not going to work because I didn't say all the rosaries. I missed one. And that would make me start thinking. Anyways, so yeah, that didn't work for me. But some people might benefit from saying like uh, an affirmation, one couple words that they can repeat. Like sometimes I'll say something like, I accept the love of God, or I allow my mind to rest in God's love, or something like that. A couple times I'll say that until I just feel that relaxation coming over me. So give it a try. I'm curious about your experiences with meditation. If you want to leave me comments below, please do so. And you can go to my website as well. And there's also some books on there on my website that I recommend that might be able to get you started. One of the books that's really, really powerful, and I have it right here, The Untethered Soul, Michael Singer. It helps you recognize the voices going on, the narratives going on in your mind, and how to. It's the first step is to be aware of it, that you are not your mind. You are not the voices in your mind. You are the observer of your mind. You are the stillness behind the voice or voices, which is like the narratives, and a lot of it is the programming from your past that plays out in your brain and your mind. So, so thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Have a great one.